Hello. For all the parents watching this video, do you wish to understand what is blended learning? Is the use of technology a blessing or a curse? Is blended learning the way forward? And if yes, what does that really mean for parents and learners? If these are common questions doing the rounds on your WhatsApp group and on your mind, and you want to know some expert opinion, stay with us while we pack the next 30 minutes to understand what blended learning is and what is the role of technology in the future of education. My name is Pooja Kedia and I'm from Schoolvisor. Today I'm joined by Mrs. Jyoti Arora. Mrs. Arora comes with more than 30 years experience in education. She has worked with schools such as Bal Bharati in Delhi, Bal Bharati in Bhopal, and Amity International School, to name a few. She's a strong believer of the fact that teaching the child and not the subject is what is key, which involves experiential learning strategies that foster critical thinking. She's acquired training for blended and experiential learning from the reputed educationist of Finland System of Education. She has been the recipient of many awards, including the Principal Leadership with Outstanding Endeavor Award, Individual Woman Achievers Award for her impeccable and outstanding contribution in the field of education, to name a few. Mrs. Jyoti Arora presently is the principal of Delhi World School, Noida. Welcome, Jyoti ji, and it's a pleasure to have you with us today. I also have with me Mr. Vaibhav Kapoor. Mr. Kapoor is a noted author and an educationist with profound knowledge in diverse fields. Mr. Kapoor completed his education in the UK and the US. He is a Microsoft Innovative Educator expert and trainer, an Adobe ambassador and educator, a Wakelet ambassador, and Tech SDGs ambassador. He is very effectively incorporated technology in the very contour of the school curriculum. Mr. Kapoor is currently the director and the principal of Ajanta Public School in Gurugram. A very warm welcome to you as well, and thank you for making it today.
Thank you.
We also have with us Mrs. Bhavna Chibber. Mrs. Chibber is a seasoned educator with over 2 decades of experience in the field of education. She has worked as a mentor to young entrepreneurs for nurturing entrepreneurship skills in students from Qualified and Assessment International UK. She is a resource person with Oxford University Press and has visited countries across the world to study the cultural as well as academic diversity among different countries. Mrs. Chibber has authored books on cyber security and ICT. She's also received many awards such as the Global Teacher Award, Dr. Radhakrishnan National Teacher Award, the Global Excellence National Award, and many more. She is currently heading the Gurugram Global Heights School in Gurgaon. Welcome, and I really look forward to our conversation today. I'm going to jump straight into the conversation. A lot of conversations today in the education circles is about blended learning and how that seems to be the way forward. Obviously, from a parent standpoint, that does sound very confusing because we don't really understand as a parent, what does that really mean for our child? Does that mean that the child will now be carrying a laptop to school instead of a school bag? Does it mean that the way technology looks today and is inculcated today is going to take a 360-degree change? And what does that mean for a parent? What does that mean in terms of screen time? So there are a lot of these questions that are floating around, and we'll try and address some of these questions. Jyoti, I'd like to start my discussion with you. When schools and educators talk about the blended learning approach, and that being the way forward, please help us understand what exactly is blended learning curriculum. Is it the same old curriculum? So it's the same CBSE curriculum, which is now displayed on a smart board, and you're using online tools and that's it? Or is there more to it?
Pooja, I think it's a very relevant question to start with the discussion.
Jyoti, your audio is a bit low. Is there a possibility for you to speak slightly?
Yeah, can you, is it okay now?
Yeah. It's all right. It's just a little bit low.
Okay, maybe I'll speak a little louder. Let me.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So I'll do that. Okay. So if we talk about blended learning, it has been interchangeably, we have been calling it as, I will say, mixed mode learning, hybrid instruction, or technology mediated enhanced learning. And right now, in the current scenario, I will say it has become a part of the vernacular. And most of us are under this notion that it is something related to computers, the online courses, and as you rightly pointed out, that's something related to the, the material that is fed into the smart board. But it is, I would like to highlight one point, that computer here is only a tool. So when we talk about blended learning, it actually integrates the technology, and I will say the digital media, with the instructor based classrooms. So if you see technically, we are becoming, we are shifting from the teacher based rigid classroom to the learner based open environment, because this is 21st century and we have to change with the changing times. And John Dewey, I will, one of my favorite quote he had said, he had rightly said that if we teach today's students as we taught them, as we learned yesterday, or as we taught them yesterday, we are going to rob them of tomorrow. So blended learning, it is a mixture of whether, the computer aided learning, and I'll again say technology into the classrooms, where teacher has to play a very important role. So it could be the rotational part, which is the common blended learning patterns have been where a teacher is teaching, there's a collaborative teaching going on, and there are some kids on computers. It could be the flipped classrooms, which most of us are familiar, where the videos, they are able to go through the videos, and when they come to the classroom, they're prepared and they're all into it. Or it could also be, I can say, the open classrooms, or a very common form, which is the labs, where the children are inside the lab and the teacher acts as a facilitator. So I will again emphasize that computer is only a tool. That is what I have to explain. I would like to highlight about the blended learning.
Thank you so much. I think beautifully explained, and I love the quote that you use, and I think it's very relevant. You kind of, if you do follow ways of yesterday, you will rob your children of the future, and we are not really certain in terms of what that future lies for our children. I also like the fact that you clarified that technology is just a medium. It is the facilitator and the student that kind of sits at the heart of the learning. So, while yes, the curriculum may be same, but the delivery of it is slightly different, but the facilitator is the key element here. Thank you so much. Vaibhavji, I'd like to come to you with my second question. When we were talking about your introduction, there was a bit that spoke about the fact that you've inculcated technology in pretty much everything that you do at Ajanta. Now, help us understand, since you've already done this successfully in your school, what role does technology play in shaping up the curriculum? Is it more an enabler, like Mrs. Arora mentioned, or do you think that it changes more the structure or the backbone of how the curriculum is framed?
Sure. Thank you so much, Pooja, for inviting us to such a platform where we can incorporate and explore all the skills and can show us the vision. So I think the way the pandemic is spreading is sensitive spell. So I think sinister spell. So we need to understand that how the technology is changing our day-to-day life and working. I think the basic game changer will be the block technology, the artificial intelligence. We talk about the internet, the way the things are working, and the augmented learning. And I think the technology itself will play a pivotal role. The way it will impact the education industry and will impact comprehensively in the field of education. So now I feel that nothing can replace this chalk and blackboard method, which was the traditional method by the teachers. I think there needs to be a blend of the modern technology with the traditional. So I feel that the way we are, the running school here in Gurgaon, so we'll be using different tools here at the Microsoft, and we're using the Wakelet. So we make sure that it doesn't replace the teacher or educator, but either it should enhance the learning of the child. So I think it is not only given a way to a new education, the quality education, but I feel that where the teachers are able to collaborate in a better way with the students, and it has brought more flexibility in the way of learning. And if I see it globally, the students have started talking about different global issues, which was not meant to be early in the way of education. So I think we are not bound to be within the four walls of classroom. I think we have gone beyond the classroom, and that's the way that technology has brought. So we need to understand that. Again, I'll tell you that we need to be very much optimistic. The way that the quality education can only be possible if we blend the technology into the education. So I think mix and match will really work, and the kind of applications I've talked about, it will surely bring a change, even that better than before. So I think we need to gear up for all this, and surely it's a pretty good step.
Great, thank you so much for that. I hear a lot of these words these days, starting from coding to augmented reality to artificial intelligence. But I want to kind of follow up on the same. Now, when a school has a curriculum that needs to be covered, let's say middle school or senior school, and you introduce things like these, which are new, how does that impact curriculum? So do you currently, whatever you're doing, you include coding within that, or does that come as a separate topic? And if it comes as a separate topic, where do educators find the time to be able to cover all of that?
It's important for us, any school or for any leader, to have a great vision. So whenever you're going to implement new things into the system, so you need to have a balance in the curriculum. So when you're going to introduce either coding or anything else, you have to make sure that the stakeholders, they should know the usefulness of any of the concept that you're going to launch. So when we started the coding, so we integrate the same into the STEM education. So we started to have a STEM lab in our school. So our focus, so coding itself is a part of the STEM education. So though if we talk about the new education policy, which has just been introduced, they have focused a lot of coding and a lot of integration of technology into the system. So I think as a leader, we already had a vision to integrate the coding into the system and bring a better result, so that we can prepare our children to earn a livelihood in the 21st century skills. Right now, during pandemic, if we see that it's unprecedented pandemic, and everybody's facing, because nobody has such kind of skills, but we used to talk it earlier. But now the time has come that we have to face the crisis. So now, as an educator, it is very important to understand that what is the requirement in future. So as a leader, you need to have a vision. You should know how to integrate, take the stakeholders as a part of the team, train them, and I'm sure that this is the best way of having introduce the coding or having artificial intelligence in the school.
Great, thank you so much for that, Mr. Kapoor. So you're definitely, a strong advocate when it comes to technology and when it comes to bringing in these new elements into the curriculum, even if that means, squeezing in the curriculum. And I think that that's a fair point. That going ahead, these are tools, hopefully, that our children will need to learn. It could be because of the core knowledge that they gain, and it could also be because they also have a lot of skill associated with these subjects. So things like maybe understanding cause and effect, or understanding how logical reasoning works is kind of taught very, very beautifully with these subjects. Thank you so much for your input. Bhavnaji, I'd like to come to you with my next question. One of the key differentiators between blended learning and physical classroom is the use of online tools and techniques for content delivery. As there are specific tools that you used and you think you would want to promote, and also help us understand, are there tools that you think will never be able to do justice to face-to-face learning? So there are these specific topics that you believe cannot be replaced by an online mode of teaching.
Thank you, Pooja, for inviting me here on this platform. As I firmly believe and I second the opinion of Weber sir, that the virtual classroom will never replace the actual classroom. Virtual or online learning provides various channels through which students can get the instructions or can interact with each other or can get the some kind of a teaching transaction happen in that virtual platform. But it is offering as a substitute, not as a regular mode of learning. Classroom learning is still remains the main option with us. Education is not limited to the syllabus only, as we all know. It also includes discipline, manners, morals, and interaction with other students and teachers. What about peer learning? How we will teach? What about collaborative projects? So now the child, they themselves are saying, ma'am, please call. We want to see the school. We want to come. We want to meet with our friends. So this is how the students are missing. So that kind of a collaborative work, that kind of a behavior, that kind of a learning from the peer group, it is not the teacher is teaching. It is how you interact, how you interact and behave with others. This is also your learning. So this is a kind of a miss on online platform, and is with less distractions. Here, all the time we are checking audios, we are checking videos, we are asking there is a connectivity problem or so. So there are so many distractions. So when we are in a classroom that is completely managed by my class leader, that means a subject teacher who is teaching the class. So it also promotes the kinetics learning among the students as they not just restricted to their phone screens and technology. So this is why I can say these traits are difficult to inject through online learning, I believe. And although it's a makeshift arrangement in this pandemic era, but still I'm waiting for the day when my school will be filled with teachers, students, and I am listening the noise, and I'm waiting for the day that when I will be calling that there should be no noise in the corridor. So that is that. So that is the feel. I believe.
I think we're all at some
that is the
as educators, we're waiting to welcome children. As parents, we're hoping to push children out of our houses and say, please go to school and leave us alone. We're all waiting for that day to come true. I love what you said about the fact that there's a lot of collaboration, there's a lot of soft skills that can't be done probably as effectively. I know educators are doing their best, but possibly can't be done as effectively as can be done face to face. Of course, learning where when you need to touch and feel things and you need to see things, experiential learning is best done when the child is there. Absolutely agree with that point. Also, distraction. Yes, while there is that one-to-one that technology provides, but the child can sometimes be thrown off because of technical glitches, because of issues that happen that honestly children are still struggling with. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to quickly move on to Vaibhavji. Vaibhavji, my next question for you is that, having seen that you have advice, you kind of use technology in a big way in your schools. If blended learning were to get formalized, help us understand what is the ratio that you would propose. 20% online, 80% offline, 50-50%. Is there a percentage that you can put or give us a sense of what would be the ideal ratio for blended and physical classes?
See, it's a very tricky question to answer because, I'm a tech learner and even I have two kids studying in the school. So even if I ask them the same question, like, where do you prefer going to the classroom or you want to have an online education sitting back at home, where you feel more safe? So even both the children of mine have a different answer. One wants to go to the classroom, and second, it all depends on parents and their thinking and how the things will take place. Because how when the pandemic will get over, nobody knows about that. So I think everybody's getting used to such kind of conditions now, and they're finding it pretty fruitful. So even if we have to blend the education, I think the proper capping can be done on the online education, because we cannot increase a lot of screen time. There have been various recommendations from National Health Institute. So they've been talking about what kind of capping should be done, and below what age, like the screen time should not be there for below 2. So there have been various recommendations from NCRE. So still, I think every school has a different policy, because it's not about completing the syllabus, but more than that, it's about consolidating the concepts. So I think we need to work on that. Second, when we're working on the preschool section, so I think the online screening can be focused on the storytelling sessions, and other physical activities can be given to them. For example, you can go ahead with the kitchen, you can give them a kitchen work, working with the moms, working on the art and craft, and various other activities such as yoga or some of the physical activities. And then you go to the second segment, which is from grade 1 to 8, where you can increase a bit of 2 sessions as compared to 1 session, and slowly and gradually give them physical activities. And same goes for the 4th session for the senior ones. So as a school, what we're doing is, like, we're having a session of 40 minutes and instead of 45 or 30. And we're giving a break of 20 minutes just to give them an offline screen hours, which is helping a lot. And I have taken feedback from the parents that they're pretty happy and pretty satisfied the kind of work we're doing it and the kind of examinations we're taking up. So they're not finding any kind of difference as such, at the moment, because they understand that the kind of circumstances we all are facing and the way we are working, it's really getting marvelous, because every day we are learning. The time we used to spend about going and attend the session, attending the workshops, and then sitting back at home, we used saving a lot of commuting time. So I think, and even the children, they used to come, they used to go for the tuitions. Everything is getting virtual. So I preferably, I still see the future, maybe 21, 22. The parents might opt for the virtual classroom than even the, going back to the school, except for the sports activities, which they would love to send them. But I think overall, you're saving a lot of time, but gradually you can, I don't want to be really specific, but overall, I can say that you can balance the things being an educator and keep on taking a lot of feedback from the parents. And then you can be a bit more specific about how many breaks needs to be given after every session.
Great. I love the fact that you're kind of thinking this through. You're kind of open to feedback even after having implemented something like this in your school already. You are open to the fact that things are going to change. I also like what you said about the fact that it's not just the curriculum. If there's a little bit of hand-led pedagogy probably also has to play in terms of how much screen time vis-a-vis physical classes you can actually do in your classrooms. The other thing that you said also resonates with me, which is the different age groups would probably have a different mix of online and offline classes, which absolutely makes sense. Little ones have a very short span of attention, so putting them through to even a 45-minute session would be a challenge, whereas a child in a senior grade, probably a 6-hour class in a day would be a breeze. So thank you so much for your inputs. Jyoti, we've heard a lot about the advantages of technology, the advantages of blended learning. I'm going to break this monotony a little bit in the discussion, and I want to ask you, what, in your opinion, are the major limitations with blended learning?
Okay, so you want me to highlight the limitations?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think the first important thing here is the teachers. They have to be motivated. We have to see that they are properly trained, changing the mindset of the teachers. So are they committed to that kind of imbibing the 21st century skills in the children? Are they ready to experiment? And which technology tools are required for which age group? And what is the process of remediation? Because what advantage, although it is something deviating from the question, one best thing about blended learning is remediation. The teacher doesn't have to focus on remediation. So you have to properly see that is the teacher open to all those aspects. I will say the major limitation will be the teacher. And secondly, I would want to say the use of technology. Of course, we are all connected with renowned schools, and we are aware that technology is there. But there are certain places it could be a problem, access to the devices, or I will say knowing the know-hows, but because it can add to the cognitive development of a person. And one more thing I would also like to say, the mindset of the parents also. Parents have only one thing, whatever is written in the notebook, okay, that mindset is changing. But definitely school and the parent working in tandem. And I will also say a very important aspect that it could lead to the plagiarism and also the credibility. The children, even we as adults, we are into the habit of copying the content. So I think credibility and plagiarism could be two important limitations of the blended learning.
Thank you so much. I love everything that you said. I think absolutely bang on. Plagiarism, making sure that the sources that you use are credible. In any change, the human factor is the hardest to deal with, and you kind of highlighted that it's the human element which takes the longest, be it on the teacher side or the parent side. Children, thankfully, are a lot more accommodating. Any environment you put them in, they'll probably be happy and they'll kind of move on. Also, access to device. So I think we're that 20 to 15% of the society that's blessed to have this access. Government schools and education around us where that device availability is an issue. Learning has actually come to an absolute halt, and that is unfortunate. So thank you so much for putting that so beautifully for us. Bhavnaji, we're kind of coming to the end of our session. Really quickly, my last question for you is help us understand why we've now understood. Help us understand, in your opinion, very quickly, 3 key advantages of technology.
Technology is for the people. Don't be a kind of just use the technology being the most valuable tool which will help you, which will assist you to teach you in your classes. Technology will help you to track the individual progress, and it help you to identify the skills which is present in you. Thirdly, having access to the technology express the students to do things out of the box and help them to find their own opinions. Technology is helping them to making them to be a self-independent learner, which is the need of an hour. So here I can see my third point, that is the self-independent learner. If we will imbibe this kind of a quality in our students, then it will, because in the coming times, this will be the strategy which will be opted. You Absolutely. Have to become even I call myself as a lifelong learner. So I am a lifelong learner where my learning will never end. So for this, I have to be independent. So all the material, all the, say, if somebody asks me, do you know this? So I can tell them that it's just a click away. I don't know it, but I can tell you, just wait for a minute. So Absolutely. This is how, and these are the kids of this generation Alpha, they're very smart. If you give them any device, within 5 minutes, they will give you a complete analysis of that device. That these are the features and this is how it will work. So I believe that technology is there to facilitate the learning, and we need to tell the student this technology you can use as to enhance your learning and to empower yourself with 21st century learning skills. Absolutely. Don't be the slave of this technology. Don't engross yourself with so many distractions which are available there.
Right. Great. I love what you said again about not slaving yourself to technology, and I think that is key to yes. be able to yes. understand when to draw that line, to say that when does that yes. kind of good go to that excess part and it starts hurting our children or us. So thank you so much for your inputs. We've got the last 3 minutes left, and I would really quickly, 30 seconds, want to get one tip from each one of you. And I'd like to start with you, Bhavna ji. One key tip for
Okay.
parents to help their child cope with the changing learning landscape. If you were to give one advice, what would that be?
My advice to all my loving parents, including me, parenting is very tough during COVID days. As Pooja rightly said, that PhD is waiting for the day when the students will be, when her kids will be going to the school. I just want you to follow the routine. Make a proper routine of your ward. Either he is at home, but he should have one time when he is going to wake up, he's going to study, he's going to play. So I want my all parents to please guide your wards to have a proper routine. Exercise is must, family dinner is must, quality time with the parents, with the grandparents is required. So it is very much required. And even for the children, you must have some time, assign some time where they can socialize with their friends, like this we are having on the Zoom platform, so that they can connect, they can feel that kind of a bonding with their friends also, because they're missing them very badly. So
Perfect. So routine
this is
your
yeah,
tip.
this is stressful time. Give their love, give love and affection, and just follow the routine.
Perfect. Routine, love, and affection, that can never fail anyone. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Reverji, if I could quickly come to you, one top tip to your parents.
Right. You know, a lot of people nowadays are facing unemployment. So, you know, they have been losing their the kind of motivation they also had to work on. So, first of all, I have a great message for all the parents as well as across the world, that whatever the crisis you're facing today, you need to work on your skills instead of just depriving about that you have nothing to do. And because you are a great motivator for your child, you're the great face for your child. So I think even if you don't have any work at home, try to imbibe a lot of skills sitting back at home, and try to show a great leadership quality in you. So and you should be thankful that the kind of children you have with you, because how adaptive they are to the technology. Even they are facing such kind of change. So I think if they can change, they are adapted to it. Why not you? So I think we need to understand that with the time, we keep on talking about the 21st century skills, but I think this is the time for us to be a part of the 21st century skills, and you have to make sure that we can survive in any of the crises.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that. So what I hear you say is lead by example. Make sure you give your children an environment that you're happy for them to ape and carry forward. Thank you so much. That was really great. Jyoti ji, very quickly, your one key tip, please.
Yeah, I think I would like to give a message to everyone that all of us are sailing in the same boat. And I will say the parents are wearing many hats. They are stressed out. We can say, you know, the homes have been converted into the workstations, the yoga studios, everything is there. But let us look at the brighter side. All of us have been complaining about not having enough time to spend with the family. So I would like to say that let's enjoy this time to the maximum. All of us are facing difficulties, and develop good habits, learn some new skills, and try to understand the children better, and imbibe, control over their emotions and also control over our emotions. And ensure that we move in tandem with the school, because let's understand one thing, that gone are the days that teachers was considered as the repository of knowledge. So let's work hand in hand with the school and ensure that our little children do well in life. Thank you. This is what I would like.
Thank you so much for that positivity and for that message for our parents. It's been a great and an informative session. And honestly, using technology very soon will not be a matter of choice. The way we see the trend going from print medium to digital medium, and how K-12 content is now getting produced more and more digitally, I feel very soon parents will not have a choice but to opt for blended learning. Given that, the question will not be what, but how much. As a parent, we would need to understand how much screen time is okay, how much online exposure is safe for our children, and is our child gaining more than they're losing. As a mother, my advice to all parents who are watching this video would be let your child flow with the change, but make sure you set some boundaries. Give them access to gadgets and screen time, but make sure you keep the human element alive for them when things go wrong, because they will. We're all living in a very, very different world today. Parenting, coaching, and teaching is as new to us as for our children being parented, being coached, and being taught is. Thus, we need to work together with them as a team to see us through this. On that note, thank you so much, the three of you. Thank you, Vaibhavji, thank you, Jyotiji, and thank you, Bhavnaji, for joining us today and giving us all your inputs. Thank you. Adios until we meet again. On that note, stay safe, stay informed, and stay school wiser. Bye-bye.